So if any of you ever feel like you've lost hope and there's nothing for this world, there is always a next world that is coming for those who keep his commands, those who stay steadfast in his word and his Torah. And he says it here in Zechariah 8, he says, the Lord says this, I will return to Zion and live in Jerusalem. Then Jerusalem will be called the faithful city. The mountain of the Lord of armies will be called the holy mountain. And the Lord of armies says this, old men and women will sit along the streets of Jerusalem, each with a staff in hand because of advanced age. The streets of the city will be filled with boys and girls playing in them. The Lord of armies says this, though it may seem impossible to the remnant of this people in those days, should it also seem impossible to me? This is a declaration of the Lord of armies. So even though it feels like there's no hope left, even though it feels like this world is passing by so quickly and that these people are dying, he says it's not impossible. It may seem impossible to us that there's something better than this, but it is true. There is something that is coming for us, that is for those who keep his laws, statutes, commandments, those that stay steadfast in the word. There is another life for us, and it is after this in the New Jerusalem. He said there's going to be peace, there's going to be people sitting around, there'll be little kids playing. He continues on and he says, the Lord of armies says this, I will save my people from the land of the east and the land of the west. I will bring them back to live in Jerusalem. They will be my people, and I will be their faithful and righteous God. The Lord of armies says, let your hands be strong, you who now hear these words, that the prophets spoke when the foundations were laid for the rebuilding of the temple, the house of the Lord of armies. For prior to those days, neither man nor animal had wages. There was no safety from the enemy for anyone who came or went, for I turned everyone against his neighbor. But now I will not treat the remnant of this people as in the former days. This is the declaration of the Lord of armies. So we live in fear every single day that something, when you go out, there's someone that will attack you, get robbed, you'll get this. He says that will not happen when you are in this new kingdom, when you are in the New Jerusalem. He says that there will be no fear. Everything will be all right. Everything will be happy. He will be there with them. He will be their faithful and righteous God watching over them. For they will sow in peace, the vine will yield its fruit, the land will yield its produce, and the skies will yield their dew. I will give the remnant of this people all the things as an inheritance, as you have been a curse among the nations, house of Judah, house of Israel. So I will save you, and you will be a blessing. Do not be afraid, let your hands be strong. For those of you that are afraid of all the things that are going on, he says, do not be afraid, be strong because he is the Lord. He knows what he's going to do for you. For the Lord of armies says this, as I have resolved to treat you badly when your fathers provoked me to anger, and I did not relent, said the Lord of armies. So I have resolved again in these days to do what is good, and in the house of Judah, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of the time that are coming. Do not be afraid. That is what he tells us to. Stay strong. Do not fear, for he is stronger than all the fears around us. These are the things you must do. Speak truth to one another. Make true and sound decisions within your city gates. Do not plot evil in your hearts against your neighbor, and do not love perjury, for I hate all this. This is the Lord's declaration. Do not do that. Do not attack your neighbor. Those are some of the commands Yeshua gave us. Love your neighbor with all thy heart. If you love your neighbor with all thy heart, you're not going to be plotting evil against him. He said he hates that. He hates when you love that stuff. He says, the word of the Lord of armies came to me. The Lord of the armies says this, the fast of the 4th month, the fast of the 5th month, the fast of the 7th month, and the fast of the 10th month will become times of joy, gladness, and cheerful festivals for the house of Judah. Therefore, love, truth, and peace.